Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the Sun square or opposition Uranus in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So first thing up is, well, if you have the Sun square or opposition Uranus in a natal chart, there may be difficulty in terms of focusing, which is the Sun, on your goals, your aspirations, your objectives, which is Uranus. Now, let's say if you have a Uranus and Capricorn, those goals, aspirations, objectives, they may be connected with government or political work, accounting, dentistry, could be timekeeping, information technology, carpentry as some examples. And the thing about this too, another way this aspect may manifest, it could be hard to shine, which is the Sun, in terms of expressing one's ingenuity or innovative ability, which is Uranus. Now, let's say if somebody has Uranus in Aquarius, say, that innovative ability, that ingenuity may be tied in with computers or electronics or astronomy, aviation, meteorology, as some examples. And the thing too is, another thing about this aspect is that the friendships, which is Uranus, may have more of an adverse effect, on your ego, which is the Sun, more so than most people. Whether these friends, whether it's due to criticism or ridicule, or whether, as another example, just say, bring this out there arbitrarily, if you're losing to them, saying some kind of sports related, competition, while it may not always be like in a malicious way that they would have an adverse effect on your ego, but just the way that it could work out. I have the Sun square Uranus in my natal chart, and I would say friends have had, many friends have had a negative effect on it, but it was more due actually to criticism and ridicule more so than it would be, than it was other things. So, the thing about, and I got to wonder if some of those people were actually my friends, though. But anyway, another thing about this aspect is that, the same, those same people, the friends, may have more of a negative or adverse effect on your life, which is the Sun, than in most other cases. Now, let's say if your Sun is in Pisces, that could be a life in which you express a lot of altruism, sacrificing, forgiveness, imagination, one in which you may give of yourself often to others, or helping those that are less fortunate than yourself, as some examples. And and also too, but there also may be difficulty, more so than most, in integrating with society, which is Uranus. Now, I have, again, I have the Sun square Uranus in my natal chart, and I feel like, that society, and me, there seems to be, some, conflict. I don't feel, a lot of times, I feel like I haven't been accepted, by society, by my contemporaries, the peers, even I felt ostracized, at times. And the thing about this is too, and friends in general may not, they may not be overly compatible, with the basic, fundamental character, which is the Sun. And in my case, I have the Sun in Cancer, so it could be, the fact that the Sun in Cancer can actually be very dedicated, devoted, and tenacious, and protective, but also can be very introverted. And I think a lot of this, the fact that I've had some conflict with some friends because I am very introverted. So now another thing about this aspect, that the person that people that have one of these aspects, the Sun square or opposition Uranus in their natal chart, may experience a number of disruptions, which is Uranus, in their in their existence and environment in general, and just in their life, which is really negative, not like unexpected surprises that are positive. Now, if somebody has the Sun sextile or trine Uranus in the natal chart, it's generally, you would expect it to be more about positive, unexpected events that could happen often for those people. But the thing about this is that the biological father in dominant males, which is the Sun, may be discordant, or maybe disagree with that unique, that original side, which is Uranus, that you express. If somebody has Uranus in Libra as an example, that unique side that one may express, maybe tied in with something with art or the law, maybe even in scale design, maybe in a game, creating some game of balance, such as Jenga, I would say would be an example. And just the thing about this as well, you may also there may be trouble with this aspect finding the vitality, which is the Sun, for activities that involve selflessness and altruism, which is Uranus, and whether it can be other Uranus-related things as well, such as matters connected with groups, clubs, organizations, friendships, or even things more specific subjects that Uranus would correlate with, such as astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, innovation, new technology, um, doing things, just out of general altruism, humanitarianism. Now, another thing too with this aspect, it may be difficulty in finding the drive and motivation, which is the Sun, to do things, that are connected. Again, with Uranus, like I was stating before, some examples, computers, electronics, astrology, astronomy, humanitarianism, selflessness as some examples. And the thing about this is, makes this aspect interesting, is that people that have this aspect in their, one of these aspects in their natal chart, the Sun square or opposition Uranus, may be averse to their freedom and independence being inhibited, but at the same time, they may be rebellious against authority. So the thing is, there also may be, more spontaneous, again, spontaneous, unexpected, just the Uranus, the negative events in one's life, which is the Sun. I mean, let's say if somebody has the Sun in Taurus, that life could be one, where there's the person, desires a lot of peace, stability, tranquility, creature comforts, doing, the same thing, day in, day out often, one in which one has, monetary stability and being able to generate income, on a, for themselves, and also, life of accumulating possessions. And it could also be too, where, this is where, the person may have more just turbulent and contentious connections with others than most people on average. And the thing about, this aspect as well, is that there may also be difficulty finding the confidence, the self-assuredness, which is the Sun, to attain, one's objectives. Let's say if Uranus is in Sagittarius as an example, those objectives, the goals, the aspirations, may be connected with publishing, advertising, printing press operation, foreign travel, college teaching, doing things associated with sports or the outdoors, to working as a travel agent as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.